Welcome to the Author's Corner with H.D. Campbell. As always, I'm your host, H.D. Campbell. Welcome to our season premiere, season 16 premiere. And where we're gonna laugh a little today. We're going to talk to comedian Ronni Jay. I can't believe it's been 2 years since we've talked, but she has blown up since then. She's done a lot more comedy. She has a lot more to talk about. And I can't wait for you guys to see. But we talked about headlines. We talked about relationships. We talked about a whole bunch of different things, all in her growth to be who she is today. We're going to talk about that. But before we get into that, let me turn this off here. I want to talk about things that's been going on since I've been away. First, the Author's Corner is going to be doing more shows. So there won't be like 2 episodes here, then hiatus, 2 episodes there, hiatus. We're on. We're just going to continue to be on. We're going to continue to go. We're going to go to different places. We're going to do different things. We're not just going to be in the studio all the time. Things like that. There's a new book that I have coming out soon about work husbands. I'll keep you informed about that. My clients have at Hard Drive Publishing have new books. There's a new workbook called Their Prayer Life by my author Katara Johnson. As well, there's going to be a new poetry book that I'm going to get from Thunderheart Lion here soon. That it's going to be just explosive as the Book of Thunder. So get ready for that. So there's so much going on. Now the show format has changed a little bit. We're going to get more in depth with the My 2 Cents. So over here in my little classroom where I'll be talking about different things, different subjects. Today, simply, I'll just be talking about how readers can support our books beyond just buying the book. So, not too much tutorial today. Next show, though, however, I'll be talking about characterization. And I'll also be doing the characterization special, which will air on a Friday sometime soon. So, just wanted to let you know about that. So much is going on. Also, too, after this, I'll also be doing Mental Health Mondays, which will also fall on the same day as the Author's Corner, and both will be on my YouTube channel at HD Television. So much about that. I'm also working on the website, and then also, too, Hard Drive now has a website. Just go to www.harddrivepublishing.com. You get to see all of my authors, buy their books, learn more about their books, learn more about my books, learn more about so many other things going on within the company. So, there's that. And now, this month alone, and next month, we have 2 months of big shows. Next week, we're going to have a 2-parter with a good kid, Chris Griffin. He's a great young man. He's telling us about, he's an author, he's a poet, he's an entrepreneur, and he's an activist. And there was so much that happened in St. Louis within this year. He's talking about things he can do, that we can do, the youth can do, so many people can do. We just work together to save our city. He has a 2-part episode after that. And at the end of the month, I've got a spooky Halloween special with Latrell R. Morris and Jenny Davis. And they definitely know how to bring the spooky and the terror. And will I be dressed up? Maybe. I'll kind of let you know what I'll be wearing. But I might be kind of dressed up. I might even be outside. You don't know, because there's going to be more on-location shows and more event shows. Things like that. So, time to get ready. So, when we come back, we're going to start the ball rolling with the first part of Ronni Jay's. October will be a month of special episodes here on the Author's Corner with H.D. Campbell. October 6th will be our season premiere with comedienne Ronni Jay, who brings the funny the whole hour. October 13th and the 20th will be a special 2-part show with author, entrepreneur, activist Chris Griffin, where we will discuss everything St. Louis, from politics to issues to where we and our youth can be a part of the solution. Then, October 27th will be our spooky Halloween special with 2 spooky authors, Jenny Davis and Latrell Morris, talking about their latest book. All of this on premiere month on the Artist Corner with H.D. Campbell. You can catch it on my YouTube channel, HD Television. Thank you, and as always, let your writing fuel your spirit, and God bless you. With this whole comedy thing, welcome back to the show. Sorry, I was catching up on the interview. This is the interview from 2 years ago. Now, without further ado, I'm actually about to give you the first half of the interview. I'm going to continue watching this. You watch that. Welcome to the Author's Corner, sponsored by City and Living Today. Like I told you, the season premiere, we're gonna laugh. We've been doing too much seriousness out here in this world today with shutdowns and all this other stuff going on. We're gonna laugh today. And I brought my friend Ronni Jay. Ronni Jay, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Yeah, I can't complain. Thank you for coming on. If you guys remember, I interviewed her a couple of years ago when she was starting out in comedy and everything, and she was starting out with everything. Now she's been doing shows, she's blowing up, she's all over the community. But I'm not gonna tell her story. I'm gonna let you tell your story.
Like he said, he interviewed me a couple of years ago. When I was first starting out with comedy, I was just starting. I started comedy July of 2022. I produced my first show 8 months into me starting comedy. Which was like a Mother's Day kickoff show, whatever, which was very successful. It was a lot of work. Like when I got done with that show, I felt like I got my ass kicked. My body was hurting me so bad after doing that show, but it was well worth it. The results was worth it. I produced my second show in 2023. And I am now working on my third show, which will be on November 26th, the evening before Thanksgiving. So that's going to be like a Friendsgiving type of comedy show. So I just secured the venue. I'm getting my lineup together and everything. Make sure all my ducks are in a row. MC, I've been a part of Helium Funniest Contest, which I didn't do it this year, but last year I made it past the preliminary round. This year I will be performing in my first comedy festival, which is the Funniest Female Comedy Festival, which is taking place in Oak Park, Illinois, which is a suburban side of Chicago. So I will be doing that at the end of this month. I will be performing that Friday and Saturday, and hopefully I will make the cut to be what they call the best of the fest. They're going to vote on their favorite comedians from the festival, and they get to perform that Sunday. So hopefully I make that cut because I really want to. And one thing a lot of people don't know is with those festivals, it isn't just performing, but it's also networking as well. So I'm hoping to, get in front of a lot of people outside of St. Louis and a lot of people that are looking to book outside of St. Louis. So right now, I'm just focusing on spreading my wings, and of course, constantly writing. That's a constant thing. Like I always tell people, it's more to this comedy thing than just hopping on stage. It's a lot of work that happens off stage. I'm talking about writing, constantly working out your material, constantly rewriting your material. It's constant work. Like even if I go to a comedy show, or sometimes I watch, comedy on TV just as a way of, I call that doing homework, kind of, you got to become a student of it. So I'm at that point now where I'm just watching comedy shows and kind of studying, watching some of the local comedians here, because a lot of people are in competition with each other, but I feel like I'm not in no competition with anyone here because it's a lot that I can learn from a lot of the people here just sitting back and watching them do their thing on stage. So that's pretty much what when I'm up to. I didn't do a whole lot this year as far as comedy. Had a lot going on this year. It was like 2025. I haven't had a year like this since 2014. Like 2025 is this year came in with a bang. Like I'm like, what is going on? Like this year came in whooping my ass. I'm like, hold on, I just need somebody to say cut her loose.
I'm gonna
Cut
be
her
honest with
loose like
you. No, I'm gonna be honest with you. I agree. 2025 to kick all of our asses. I don't know what happened, what's in the water, but it's
yeah.
2025. I'd be glad when 2026 gets here.
I mean, it's crazy. Like at the beginning of the year, um, a lot of people know, a lot of people don't know, but I went through a breakup at the beginning of the year. I wasn't, I wasn't sad about it, and honestly, their breakup really should have happened in October of 2025. To be honest, you know what I'm saying? But I was like, okay, we can work this out or whatever. But once January hit, I think remember we had those two what was it? It was like two snowstorms that we had
Yep,
in January.
back to back.
And one of the snowstorms, he was actually here when one of those snowstorms happened. And it just something about that snowstorm that just opened my eyes like, okay, this shit ain't it. Your ass need to escape this, like abort mission. This this ain't it. This ain't it at all. I was like, okay, well, we had a good run. Time to wrap this shit up.
Well, without getting in your business real quick, what actually opened your eyes?
Um, okay, this is what opened my eyes.
Well, what do
So,
you think opened your eyes?
so what opened my eyes, like, I'm the type of woman that, like, I like, I like the type of guy where, if something is going on or whatever the case is, they try to help come up with a solution. Don't just leave me to drown by my damn self, or anything like that. So what ended up happening was I was having car trouble. I was having car trouble, especially when it got real, real cold. And come to find out, it was like something as simple as my battery. I got a battery back in October, but listening to him, got the battery from the junkyard, and
Hmm.
I was apprehensive about getting that battery from the junkyard because I'm like, maybe getting something else that's not electrical from the junkyard. But I'm like, I don't know about getting no battery. And so, when it came time to get the battery, he kept on like giving me the runaround as far as getting the battery and putting the battery in. Like I'm catching the hood Uber to to work and all this little stuff, and I'm being told, I'm gonna get the battery while you at work and all this stuff like that, and then I get home and this motherfucker ain't get shit, ain't get anything. And so my thing about it is, well, my problem come in with it is throughout the whole relationship, I did all the damn driving, which I don't like doing all that driving. I like a man that like to drive everywhere
Okay.
we go. I like that. But the whole relationship, I'm doing all the driving because his plates ain't right. He can't drive everywhere because of his plates. And then eventually his car went down. So here I am, there's not an option for him to drive. So I'm doing all the driving in the relationship. So it's like all this driving I've been doing, you mean to tell me that you can't get your ass up and get the autos on, get my damn battery and
You
get
know
over
what?
here, slap this
You know
motherfucker in?
what? I'm gonna say at the end of the story. AutoZone, they'll test the battery. You're good to go. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm like, now you mean to tell me that you can't do that? And the thing is, I know some people be like, "Damn, you let him go over there." This been building up over time. You know what I'm saying? Another thing was he was very insecure. Um, and the thing about it is, people don't understand. Sometimes it's hard to date as an artist. Especially if whoever you're with don't have thick skin, if they're going to be insecure and constantly question every single thing, like it's not an easy thing to do. And so I always ask guys, like, okay, you know what you're getting into. I'm a stand-up comedian. It's male dominated here in St. Louis. So a lot of times I'm going to be working on shows where I am the only female comedian working on that show. So you need to understand and know what you are getting into, and be able to trust that, I'm not out here doing anything other than working with other comedians, doing our thing, whatever. He's one of those people, oh yeah, I can handle it. And then next thing I know, had a show back in about almost a year ago over in East St. Louis. I had a minor thing to go on with my car. It wasn't major, but it was minor. But I couldn't drive my car over to East St. Louis like that. So I ended up having to leave my car at home and go ahead and take an Uber, because I had already been paid ahead of time for this show. So I ain't had no choice but to get my ass to this show. So I took an Uber, and the producer of the show, I texted him to let him know that I was on my way, that I had to take an Uber or whatever, just to stay in communication. And so when the show was over, the producer told me, like, you ain't got to take no Uber home. I'll take you home or whatever. And I was like, you sure? He's like, yeah. I'm like, you sure you don't need no gas, no nothing? He's like, no, you good. So I let him know, like, hey, I got to ride home or whatever. And, they told me I ain't had to take no Uber, all this stuff like that. So, of course, first question he asked me, was this a male or a female?
Why?
And I'm like, oh my God, here we go. You told me you could handle this. But here we go. Like, damn, like, so I can't ride with a man. Like what you expect for me to do? Is stick my thumb out in the middle of East St. Louis and hitch my ass home? Like, what you mean? Would it be any different if it was a woman? As if I can't screw around with a woman.
Right.
Like, what you mean? So I straight asked him, I'm like, why you ask me something like that? Like, I need to know, because we had this conversation in the beginning about, you know what I'm saying, whatever. And he was like, well, because a lot of women would have lied. I had an ex, I asked her something like that, and she lied, and this and the other one. I'm like, look,
if I trust you, why ask?
I'm not your damn ex.
No.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm not your damn ex. I'm not your damn mama. Because his mama's something else. I witnessed some bullshit with, I don't like talking about people mamas. However, the shit that I witnessed with her, the first time I ever met her, it was crazy. I didn't speak on it right away because, like I said, I'm like, I don't want to, overstep and be talking about nobody mama. But eventually he had brought it up. I'm like, okay, now that you bringing this shit up, I just want you to know I peeped this shit the first time I met her. I knew she wasn't at the mall when she left your daddy, popped up at your house and left your daddy at your house for hours. Talking about she at the damn mall. What the fuck she buying the whole damn mall? Is she renovating the mall? Like, I'm like, this woman ain't in no damn mall. She up under or on top of somebody. Or in front of them.
I'm trying not to go there, but I'm sorry.
Like, come on now. I'm like, I peeped it. Them when they no damn mall. But I just tell him, like, I ain't none of your ex or your mama. Like, you, that right there, you need to go work that out in therapy. Like, you need to go work that out. Sit on somebody's couch. Something. You need to go talk this out with somebody, because I'm not either one of them. I haven't given you a reason, not a one reason to not trust me ever. So this question shouldn't even be being brought up. I can see if it was a situation where the guy was bringing me home or something like that, and I wasn't staying in constant communication, or you trying to hit me up after so many minutes after I should have been dropped off and I'm not answering. Okay, I can see you like kind of being apprehensive, but I'm not giving you no reason to. So like that shouldn't even, that question never should have came up. But it was
I would
starting to
kind of
be a
be more worried
headache.
about you. I guess I would kind of be more worried about you being stuck in East St. Louis
Yeah.
and happy that you got a ride. I don't care who did.
Right. 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 And my thing is, like I said, that question never it never should have came up. But you know, sometimes it be small signs that people be showing us that they might have some insecurities, but you know, sometimes you don't pay attention to it. But I remember like he would ask, you know, he would constantly ask me like, you know, why are you with me or whatever. And it's like it makes me cringe when a guy asks me a question like that, and he constantly asks me a question like that, because it makes me feel like you're not even confident. Like you don't feel like you that guy, or you don't feel like you're him. You know what I'm saying? Like that's that's what that's giving to me.
Right. So, but no.
That's what that's giving.
So, now before we get into more things, I just want to ask a question about your stand up. When you first doing stand up as to now, how nervous are you before you hit the stage,
Um,
or even nervous at all?
I think I think with doing stand up, the nerves. I don't believe the nerves ever go away. I know some people, you know, have told me like, you know, it don't even seem like you were nervous or anything like that. But a lot of times it'd be more anxiety than anything. Not necessarily bad anxiety, but just um, I don't know, anxiety and a little adrenaline or whatever. But I don't believe the nerves ever completely go away, and I think sometimes that's needed. As weird as it sounds.
Well, can I say something? I don't mean and I don't mean any harm to blow your head up or anything like that, but every every comic goes through a amateur stage. However, I done seen every video of you, and you've on every stage from beginning to now. It's like you never even hit an amateur an amateur part. It's like you get on there, you say what you gotta say, you're done. Every video I've seen. I mean, what? I mean, how? Explain that.
Um,
And I'm talking about from the first time.
well, I think I know sometimes like the way I might look at my performances might be different from the way you know you or anybody else look at it. You know, it's a different set of eyes and a different mindset when people are looking at it. Um, because me personally, but that's because I mean, just as an artist, I just pay close attention to certain things. Me personally, I see the difference from the beginning until now. Some of it is subtle things that you all might not pay attention to. Something as little as how I held my microphone when I first held the microphone when I first started versus now. Because in the beginning, I took like a it was like a comedy workshop or something that they were doing at Helium when I first started. And one of the things that the veteran comedians told us, what they had us to do, they had us to come up on stage and introduce ourselves, um, or whatever. And we didn't realize that them having us do that introduction was kind of a little bit of a test, kind of sort of, because after that introduction, one of the things they talked about was how to hold a mic correctly when you on stage, because it is a correct way to hold a mic when you're doing stand up comedy. I never knew until I took that workshop. So like one thing about it is like the way they want you to hold a mic is they want you to hold it as close to your mouth as possible. Like you gotta some men. Well, I know with a lot of male comedians, like they put the mic like right here on their chin, up under their lips, or might put it right on their lips or whatever. I put it as close to my face as possible because I be wearing makeup. I don't be wanting to get makeup on the mic, but you hold like this, your lips right up on top of the mic. We were told that it it gives a better sound when you hold it that way on stage. So like that was one of the things that I've noticed as far as my progression is, looking back at pictures and looking back at videos, like as far as the way that I hold my mic in the beginning versus the way that I hold it now. Um, Let me see. Another thing is, I think I'm starting. I think I'm starting to get a better flow to my material than I had in the beginning, where I constantly write material, but now I'm getting better with doing it where it doesn't necessarily sound rehearsed or anything like that. Getting better with the I guess just adding little bits there that wasn't written, and that's where improv come in at, because I did an improv show last year. I think that was like last year in April, and that really opened my eyes to how that could help with the stand up too, as far as sticking a little extra stuff in there that might not be written in there already or whatever. Like that really helped a lot. Um, so me personally, I see the difference from the beginning to now, but like I said, it's a different set of eyes and a different mindset. I'm looking at different things that you all probably wouldn't look at, um, that I've done like from beginning until now. So I would never say that I was never in the amateur stage, but I think it might seem that way because of the mindset that I came into this with, and the way that I went about um, building my material.
I will.
I built,
I'm good. I'm
huh?
sorry. No, go ahead. You
But,
go.
but I built my material to where, like, I figured, like, because starting off doing comedy, especially in comedy shows, I didn't start off getting a whole lot of time. They don't give you a whole lot of time starting off because, of course, you're starting off. You don't have a whole lot of material in the beginning anyway. So they might start booking you for like, I would say about like a 7 minute set or something like that. But I knew that eventually I was going to want to do longer sets, or somebody would want me to do a longer set. So what I started doing was just writing a little bit.
Last time, last time the interview ran out of short, but this time I wanted to make sure we get enough stories, we get enough funny, because I'm telling you, I mean, with so many clubs she's been at, she's going to talk about having to save somebody from getting their ass beat, everything. Look, all of that is in this next half of the interview. Please, without further ado,
At a
check
time.
it out.
Like at Helium, when you do that open mic, I think they give you like 3 to 4 minutes when you do open mic. So I started writing my material in 3 to 4 minute increments. and building off of that, um, and putting all that together, whenever I had to do longer sets. So I came into this just constantly writing. Some people come into it and they just only write so much, and then they constantly work that over and over again. But with me, even coming into it, I started writing quite a bit of material. I down, sit myself down on a Saturday and have a writing session by myself, um, and write. So just writing has been constant for me throughout this 3 years, which is why like some people will come and see me at shows multiple times, but they would get different material. But that's because I'm constantly writing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that has to be constant. Some comedians, they're not into writing their material. They rather not write. They rather just, go on stage and do whatever. I mean, and that's fine. Different things work for different people. But as for me, I like to write. I always like to write way before this, so that's something that comes to me naturally anyway.
You know, one thing that you didn't mention, which is one thing that I also see in you, is the fact that, well, you did mention it, it's just the fact that, in other words, you're studying the craft. You're doing the
Mhm.
craft. You're not just seeing a bunch of comics on TV and say, I can do that. Let me do what they do.
Yeah.
You're actually learning, you're actually immersing yourself, which is what I suggest. And I don't care what you do as an artist, whether you're a comedian or you're an author, whatever. You have to learn and immerse yourself into the craft.
hmm Yeah, I had a veteran comedian named STL Slim, and he's the one that brought that to light for me. We had a conversation over the phone one time, and he was telling me, he was like, "Yeah, I see you doing your thing, also stuff like that." But he was like, "But make sure you become a student of comedy." So, he's a veteran. He's been doing it for years. So, I took that and ran with it, and, started watching different comedy specials, different comedy shows, and just really, really studying and taking some things in.
Okay. Now, before I continue, I'm just going to say real quick. If this cuts off, I'm going to send you another invite because this only goes so long to wrap to finish it up because there's more I want to talk with you about. But I can call up anytime soon, but I will let you know. All right? All right.
Okay.
You there? All right. But my next question is, what's now in the future? What are you looking at? What are you looking to do?
Um, Let me see. In the future, I'm hoping to do more. I'm hoping to do more comedy festivals. Like I said, the one that I'm doing at the end of this month is the first comedy festival that I've been accepted to and that I'm doing. So, want to do more of those because it's a lot of networking that goes on with those, and you get to come across a lot of people that you wouldn't necessarily get to come across just getting booked for shows only. Um, Also, another thing that I see in the future that I would like to do in the future is to write for other people. Um, because I was just having this conversation with somebody the other day, and I was telling them like we don't just have to be just confined to the stage. You know, you can also we can also write for other people. So that's something definitely that I would definitely like to do is getting into writing material for other people as well.
Okay. Now, before I switch gears, because this is going to go right into where I'm going, how can we get to know you? How can we get in contact with you? How can we get you booked?
Um, let me see, you could get me booked. You can either call me or email me. A lot of people, even though I have business cards and I give the business cards out, people never, people rarely call or text the number or send me an email. I usually get DMs and inboxes, which I mean, that's cool too. So they can always reach out to me on Facebook, Comedienne Ronni Jay, or even on my regular Facebook page, LaRon Jones. Also, they can reach out to me in the DM on Instagram at Big Ronnie Energy. They can reach out to me as well as far as booking. I always tell people, especially when people doing private events, to have a budget in mind on what you want to spend. Because I always ask people, like, what is your budget? And they be like, oh, well, I don't have one. So that make me think, you can spend whatever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then you throw their price, and they be like, oh, I'm like, yeah, you need a budget. Just like if you was, planning a wedding or something, people usually budget for what they would want to spend on the caterer or what they would want to spend on the DJ. Like,
People got to get paid.
have a budget so this is easier to work out.
Right. Now that we know how to get in contact with you, and now that we know we get to know you a little better, let's talk about your social media for a second. Okay, you are a
Okay.
cannibal social media. You don't mind, do you?
No, I don't mind.
All right. You talk about relationships. You talk about family. You talk about a whole lot of things. What makes you? Well, I know what makes us all want to go on social media and talk about things, but what about you personally? What makes you get out there and talk about different things on social media?
Well, I ended up learning when I first started doing comedy that some people that are looking to book, one of the things that they look at is your social media presence. How much social media presence you have and your following. So when I ended up learning that, I ended up because I already had a quite a big presence on Facebook, but I had my Instagram for about the same amount of time that I've had my Facebook page. But before doing comedy, I wasn't really active on my Instagram page until I found out that a lot of people that are looking to book, they're looking at your social media presence, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, whatever. So that's pretty much the main reason why I get on social media and cut up and put a lot of things out there, because one of the things that they're looking for, some of them when they're looking to book, is what your social media presence and engagement is like. So that's the main reason.
Let's talk about engagement for a second. I was watching one, and I was engaging with you on one of your TikTok stories about something that's purely common sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Where if you have, and I'm just gonna briefly get into this and ask your opinion on it, then but you'll find a word on it. If you have if you have a woman, why entertain other women, especially when you give other women girlfriend privileges? I
Mm.
don't know. Maybe because I was just raised. That's just common sense. But maybe I'm wrong. But go ahead.
Yeah. You wouldn't believe how that is not common sense for a lot of people. I ran into issues with that a few times in relationships. I ran into that with my ex husband, um, uh, a couple of other exes where they had like female best friends or whatever, and I didn't even have an issue with them having a female best friend, and was never disrespectful to these women or anything like that. So anytime things got disrespectful, for whatever reason, the disrespect came from them to me. Um, I had one situation with an ex where he had his female best friend, and she said something on social media that it wasn't appropriate, especially knowing that this man is in a relationship. And it almost felt like it was on purpose as far as her saying something like that, knowing that he was in a relationship. And so after that particular situation, I was like, I was apprehensive about dating any man with a female best friend. Then I ended up in a situation the beginning of no, it wasn't the beginning of last year. It was about around about the end of 2023, where where I was dating this guy, and of course, like in the beginning, um, I kind of like held back a little bit in the beginning because it's like you don't want to get yourself too involved too fast, and then it don't really be about shit. And so with me doing that, like I guess he kind of felt that I was like holding back and pulling back from him a little bit. And so he brought it up to me and was like, "Look, I'm trying to be your man and this and the other, but it's like you pushing me away, all sorts of stuff like that, whatever." And so I went into like, okay, maybe I should give him a chance, kind of open up a little bit or whatever. And then it's like once that ended up happening, that's when the bullshit comes. So that situation, it was like on a Friday. I was going to an open mic. He was meeting up with some friends for drinks. The open mic was like way after he would uh, meet up with his friends for drinks. And so the plan was once he was done with them, he was going to come and meet me at open mic. He never came to meet me at open mic. Started, texting him or whatever, text going unanswered and all sorts of stuff like that. Open mic is over. Finally get in touch with him. And now it's I didn't receive no text, and I'm like, I can screenshot it and show you that I sent the text. Like, I ain't gotta lie about sending no damn text now. Like, don't do that. So him up there being drunk, some people they get drunk and they get to telling on themselves. And so he was like, yeah, I wasn't even driving or whatever, which I'm like, okay, well, I'm glad you were responsible and didn't drive. Thank you for being responsible. And he was like, yeah, I wasn't even driving. And I had my friend, she parked her car at my house and we took an Uber and all sorts of stuff like that. And so I'm already mad because you're with the friends or whatever. You didn't follow through on what the hell you told me that you were going to do with me. So I'm already mad. Then you on the phone with the female friend, which that call should have ended once I came in, once I was in your presence. But okay, you on the phone with the female friend and you up here trying to smooth things over, trying to introduce me to the female friend. I'm pissed off. I don't want to meet no damn body right now.
I'm sorry. Exactly. I don't want to talk to
Like,
nobody.
don't introduce me to nobody while I'm pissed off because I don't want to talk to nobody, it's gonna look like I'm just being a bitch right now.
But
Yeah.
look.
Like don't do that. Don't introduce. I don't want to meet nobody right now. I barely want to be around you right now. Like don't do that. So he gets off the phone with her and I told him like, well, I didn't tell him right on the night. I told him the next day once he was sober because I wanted to make sure he remembered the conversation. So I told him, I was like, what happened last night, that didn't sit right with me at all. You left me waiting on you to go be with your friends, not only be with your friends, but be with female friends. So you put me on the back burner for another woman. That don't sit right with me. And then you got her parking her car at your house so that y'all could go out like y'all dating instead of us. Mm-hmm. I don't like that. You're doing girlfriend shit with somebody else. That I don't like that. And so the blame gets transferred to me. And he's like, well, you should have said something right then and there. You were drunk. Why would I have a conversation with you while you
Can
were
I
drunk? You
can,
probably,
can I ask a stupid question real quick? I don't mean to cut you off.
mm,
Even if I had a female friend, why can't I come to your show first, and then we all can go to have drinks with friends?
yeah,
I'm sorry, maybe.
yeah. I mean, it makes sense to me. You
And
know, makes perfect sense to me. But I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know. I'm talking about why ain't you talk to me last night? Because you were drunk. You probably wouldn't have remembered the conversation. You probably don't remember that much of anything else. So why would I talk to you while you're like that? That's why I'm talking to you now. That way you can take in, what I'm trying to tell you, or whatever. And so when he actually broke up. He actually broke up with me.
Hmm.
And the way that he broke up with me was, I just ended up noticing and finding out that he unfollowed me on all social media. Didn't say anything, just unfollowed me. So what I did was I reached out to him, and I didn't reach out on anything like I was fussing at him or anything like that. I just reached out to him and asked him if he was okay. Is everything okay? And then that's when he gets to talking about, oh, I'm not ready for this and all this stuff like that. I'm like, but nigga, you came to me. So I mean, if you're coming to me, then I'm assuming that your ass is ready.
All right.
I'm like, oh, you're not ready for the relationship, or you're not ready for the things that come with it, like not treating other women the way you should be treating me.
You act like I bothered you.
Yeah. Like you could have left me the fuck alone. Like this motherfucker, when I say, like, I had been friends with him on social media for 5 years. And he had been like flirting here and there throughout the 5 years or whatever. I ain't really think much of it. But after 5 years, he finally went ahead and shot his shot. And it's like, you waited 5 years for this? Like, this is stupid. You waited 5 years for this. Like, you really could have just left me the hell alone if you was gonna do this after 5 years. Like, this is stupid as hell.
Crazy.
This is this is dumb. But he ended up dumping me, and then I ended up seeing a subliminal post that he had put up talking about, in his last relationship he gave up his friends for the woman just for them to not be together, and he's not giving up his friends again. And I'm like, ain't nobody tell your ass to give up your friends. You just can't
Um,
do
I
the
have
same thing for them that you would do for me, or that you
I have
should do for me.
I've not been in a relationship where I had to give up my friend. My
Yeah,
friends know that they take a back seat to my relationship.
yeah.
that
So I posted that reel on Facebook, and then had somebody in the comments talking about, oh, you must not have any good friends. I say I do, and the good friends that I have know that I have boundaries, and they respect that.
Yep.
They respect that. And then he had tagged. I guess he tagged. I guess somebody who's a female best friend to him in the comments or something. I don't give a fuck who you tag. Tag your mama, your granny, whoever. I stand on what the fuck I said. 10 toes down. I don't care who you tag. I don't give a damn about that. What? I'm just supposed to change how I feel because you tag somebody?
People, I'm just gonna say this and I'm just gonna move on. I don't know where we get this stigma that you can't have male and female friends without something going on. Now, if you're acting funny, there is something going on. And you trying to basically make your significant other look like the bad guy.
Mm-hmm. And I really believe that's what happened with Blair Underwood and
Ah,
his ex-wife,
yes.
because he left her for his female best friend. I really believe that's what happened. I believe that woman felt like some shit was up when they was together, and he probably pulled the whole, oh baby, you ain't got nothing to worry about. We like brothers and sisters. We grew up together. We went to church together, and now I don't see her like that. And here it is. You done left your wife for 30 something years for the female best friend that you probably didn't set up and told her she ain't have to worry about.
Now I'm not psychic, I'm not psychic at all, but I knew because when I heard about a female best friend from Blair Underwood years ago, and I just had a feeling that because they talked about it too much, to where she's always. I had a feeling that was gonna mess up his marriage at some point.
Mm-hmm. Because why are you bringing her to the spotlight like that? Like she your wife instead of your wife. Like, that's why I can't.
Well, with that, I do want to transition into something I've been so curious about with you. You always bring up the brother husbands. Please, please, please explain that. What are the brother husbands? I am, and I'm sorry, I don't know if anybody else is invested. I will be invested, whatever that is.
So I had started bringing this up. I think when I first started doing doing comedy, and it was just more so like joking. Joking at first. I mean, it's pretty much like what sister wives are. It's kind of like sister wives, but instead of multiple wives, multiple men, multiple husbands, or whatever you want to call it. So this year, I started bringing it up. Started bringing it up again, and then I started thinking like, okay, maybe I should try this. Like everybody serves their purpose. You know what I'm saying? You might have somebody that's handy that can throw some brakes on the car or something. Then you might have somebody else that's good for something else, or whatever the case might be. Or you might have somebody that, like with me, I like Broadway musicals, so you might have another guy that's into Broadway musicals. You go see the musicals with everybody into that, whatever. So I was like, okay, let me try this and see see if I can make this.
Well, see, we've been doing that for years, so it's like, why not? We've been doing it, so.
So I'm like, let me see if I can make this do what it do. So, of course, had a few guys to reach out when I was like joking about this. And it was like, yeah, I'd like to do it, whatever. And nothing ever came of it. And then I ended up rekindling something with someone who I dated in my past in 2016, which that situation, I'll admit, I fucked that situation up because I wasn't ready. I was fresh out of a failed marriage or whatever. So it's like, I really wasn't ready, like mentally or whatever. And then I was trying to date this other guy that I knew that I was already friends with. The other guy, he didn't really work out. We figured like we better as friends. I thought it would work out. I'm like, nah, we better off being friends. So now it's down to one person, and yeah, it was real short lived. It was short lived, but the one person that I'm down to, and it's funny because I think I posted on my Facebook page. I was like, I think I said I'm down to one. I think this is a sign that I just only need this one person or whatever. And then that person, he inboxed me talking about some yeah. I was wondering why you ever thought that you needed more than one anyway. Well, I'm like, I'm just doing shit. I just be doing shit. Like you never know if it's going to work out if you don't just try.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So down to the one person, it's working out pretty well. I mean, sometimes he get on my damn nerves. I know sometimes I get on his nerves too, but I mean, it's all love. This person here, like I said, I've known him since 2016, and like with that situation right there, it feels like I know this might sound corny to some people, but it feels like that 90s type of love.
Mm-hmm.
It feels it feels like that. Not saying that it's perfect,
Mm-hmm.
but it feels like that 90 type of love because like some of these relationships now it's just so a lot of people are so cold in these relationships
Right.
and so I don't get that from him. Like I said, it feels like a 90s type of love is it's always a good time, always a good a good vibe when I'm around them. Um, One thing that really stuck out for me with him was the complete opposite of the last guy, which was back in April. I ended up having court trouble again. At that
Mm-hmm.
time, I was working my teaching job, and then I was working this part time data entry job for the IRS, and I needed a ride home from that job because I got off that job at I think I got off of that job at about 10 o'clock or something like that. So he helped me with getting a ride home. He even went as far as to stay over stay over at his job because his job is in St. Louis. So he went as far as to stay over his job um, until it was time for me to get off, so that he can make sure that I got home
I like that.
or whatever. Yeah, like yeah, he's that type of guy.
So you're happy as far as relationships go right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
yeah, I am. Even though it can get challenging because he's a Virgo too.
Well,
So so
I
sometimes
think.
when he's doing stuff, I be wondering like, do I be doing that?
Well, I'll put it like this: if you're not getting on each other's nerves, then you're not happy. I've always said that. If your
hmm
significant other ain't getting on your damn nerves, then something's wrong.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
now, now I want to just get into a couple of random things if that's okay with you. I just want to throw some news headlines out there if that's okay.
Yeah.
Um um first I want to talk about the big news of the week, not shutdown. The other news, the Diddy news.
Oh goodness. How
Hey,
dare
your thoughts.
that artist for that trial, the way they drawing them pictures of him had me bugging up. Like what? Who is this artist?
And explain. Wait. What's up with the pictures?
I don't know, it's just the way they been drawn and it's one picture where I guess when they gave him his sentence, because I think they gave him four
Oh, I
years,
think I know what you're talking about. Go ahead.
and he was like under the table. I'm like, I'm like, boy, this artist is top tier. Like they're capturing all of it. Like they need a raise. This
The
nigga
re-
under the
'cause-
table. You would
the
have thought
reason,
they said 40 years.
right? Because the reason I told you to explain, because see, the artist sometimes draws like he got a real good sense of humor the way he captures Diddy's emotions.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this artist. Yeah,
One
I
thought.
like that artist.
All right. Also, too, this week the girls are fighting. The uh, Cardi B and Nicki. What the hell?
Oh, I'm just wondering when it's gonna end because it seemed like they how long they been going back and forth like
A long time, a very long time.
but I know it had been a minute since they publicly gone back and forth because we all
I
know
mean, but
that
they
like
stopped a minute, then they came back. Yeah, that's what
yeah
happened.
so it just seemed like Nikki I don't know maybe she need prayer or something because to sit up and y'all haven't gone back and forth publicly in years and then as soon as this woman drops an album you started, you know what I'm saying? You started all back up. And it's like instead of you getting your ass on here arguing, like put out an album. Just like she was saying about Lil' Kim when she first came out, and Lil'
Yep.
Kim had her stuff to say about her. The main thing Nikki said in that interview, where is your music? Okay, Nikki, where's your motherfucking music? Like why you not in the booth? Instead of being on Twitter.
You make me
Where's your
talk about
music?
and you talk about the veteran in the music game. So what the hell?
Yeah,
No, Kim did
yeah.
her work. What about you?
And then it's so funny, like a lot of people that's on Nicki Minaj's side is talking about Cardi B had surgery so that she could look like Nicki Minaj. And I'm looking like Nicki Minaj's style ain't even her own. She stole Lil' Kim's whole entire style. So I'm like, y'all are delusional. And it's like it's one thing to beef with somebody, but then you get to bringing their kids into it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Now,
I'm like, nah, you doing too much.
now that's one thing I don't like when you start bringing kids into the mess. That kills everything.
Yeah. Like I'm like, not you doing entirely too much, but a lot of people had something to say about how Cardi B is reacting to that. But my thing is don't sit up and get on people about how they react. Like go see why they're reacting like that. And we're seeing, up front why she is reacting like that. Like she's a mother just like anybody else is a mother. So somebody come for your children. You shooting back.
That's it.
You know you are.
100%.
Don't sit up and act like you gonna turn the other cheek and
So,
and all that. No, you're not.
which
No,
brings
you're
me
not.
to my which brings me to my next question. I ask every comedian that's ever come on my show, what do you not find funny? What do you not like joke about? Besides kids, by the way, which kids should never have kids for. Go ahead.
Let me see what I don't like jokes about. Um, it's funny because sometimes we'll have like at a place where an open mic is, where it's mostly black people, and sometimes white comedians will come in there. Sometimes to work out jokes. One of the places in particular, KJ is on Broadway. They're open mic on Wednesday. I remember. I
Oh,
remember one time. I think this was last year. It was an open mic, and it was crowded at the open mic because Lady Ree was going to be on the actual show after the open mic. So she brings the people out. So it was a lot of people at that open mic. And I remember it was this white comedian. I can't remember his name because he never came back after that. Because he
mm.
probably thought he was gonna get his ass whooped.
Stage back around on Broadway. I didn't say that. I'm sorry. Go
Yeah. That
ahead.
motherfucker got up in there telling jokes and it was something about looking at a little kid's dick or something. And them man, when I say them black people in that audience,
Oh,
oh, they made it known.
they probably ran about it.
Man, look. And I had to go up after him because shit, I think no, what's that last year or the year before? But I know I'm trying to think who was still hosting. I think Javine Westmoreland was still hosting it. So he put me up after him because he was like, okay, I need you to bring the audience back.
You have a big job ahead of you.
As it is. And I went up there. I was like, boy, I told that comedian when I was on stage. I was like, boy, I was standing in the gap for you, down there praying for you, because it looked like they gonna whoop your ass for saying that dumb ass shit like this. That joke might go over well if you was performing at a Catholic church, but this read the room. This is not the setting for that. Yeah, them kind of jokes um where I've seen like motherfuckers like trying to joke about shit like that, dealing with children. I don't, that shit ain't funny. Um, I've seen where some white comedians try to try to tell jokes with racist undertones and stuff, and try to tell it in light of jokes. I don't like that. That shit ain't funny. That shit ain't funny at all. I mean, I'm glad you showing us who you are, but at the same time, that is not funny.
A couple more questions left, real quick. So, when you get on stage, what do you normally what is your normal set about?
I mean, a normal set for me is pretty much things that are relatable, just about the same things that I talk about on social media, from dating to relationships to parenthood. Um, I've even talked about Raven Simone. Um,
I was going over Raven Simone. Talk to us. Talk to us.
in my recent set, talk about how she a stud now. I still don't like that. That just don't make sense. And I be looking at her past pictures and shit, and I'm like, how, like, where did we go wrong as a people? Like, how did this happen? Like, why? Come on now. Like, how? I'm not liking this. Like,
So Raven, I'm sorry. Hip say it. Sorry.
we need to bring her back. I'm not liking this. Like, you in the public eye, like your wife could have been the boy. Like, why couldn't she be the boy?
Right, right.
Hey, we ain't trying to see her.
Oh my god.
We ain't trying to see her. And I don't care too much for her wife either. That interview they did with her and her wife was talking that little bullshit she was talking, trying to downplay Raven Simone and who she is, and you know what I'm saying, and where she at as far as network. I ain't like that. I ain't like that. Raven Simone need to get some of her hood cousins together to handle that.
Yeah.
Ain't no way.
All right. One last thing. This is the part of the show where I give you guys final word. See, with 7 minutes left, the floor is yours, man.
See, final word. I guess I can. Let me see. Final word. Well, one thing I want to tell people is that it's never too late to do what you want to do. It's never too late. I started comedy. I was probably a month shy of my 39th birthday when I started comedy. I am now 42 years old. And I want people to know that it's never too late to start what you want to do. I don't care if you're 65, 75 years old. It's never too late to do whatever it is, that you want to do. Whether, you might want to be a burlesque dancer at 75 or whatever. Do that. You're still breathing. I don't think it's ever too late. And one thing about it is, it's a lot of comedians out here that are really young, that are a whole lot younger than me. In their 20s, fresh, wet behind the ears, and all this stuff like that. But I'm glad that I started when I did. I really believe that if I would have started in my 20s, I don't think it would have been the same as it is now. I remember people telling me for years when I was in my 20s that I was funny and that I needed to do comedy. But at that particular time, I didn't have the confidence then that I have now. You know, people would tell me that, and I'll be like, well, I mean, I don't think I'm stage funny or stand up comedian funny. Like
Sorry.
I didn't have that belief then that I have now. So I believe with that, just timing was everything. My 20s probably wasn't my time to be doing that because I didn't believe in it. I didn't believe in it at all, like I do now. So now here it is. I'm at 42, going strong. 3 years. Me starting off at the age that I started off at versus the ones that started off in their 20s. I look at it like the advantage that I have is my age because I've had a chance to experience some things that I can talk about and bring to light on stage and make it funny. So I just want people to know, it's not too late.
Yes.
Whatever you want to do, go ahead and do it now while you're still here.
Welcome to AC 2 Cents. Like I say, this is going to be one of my little classrooms I'm going to use. I'm going to write stuff on the board. We'll be talking about a whole bunch of stuff, different characterizations, about vocabulary, things like that. Anything dealing with the literary world or beyond, we're going to talk about that. But I just want to talk about two things. Number one, first, readers. We'll first talk to our readers. Um, Thank you for buying our books. Thank you for loving our books. Thank you for getting on us about characters and things like that. We love all of that. But we have to ask one more favor, and the favor doesn't cost you a dime, just maybe a couple minutes out of your life. That's all. If you can just leave a review and just let us know what you think. Do you love it? Do you hate it? We just want you to leave a review. Hopefully you do love it. But if you just leave a review, reviews are what basically keeps people wanting to read our books. People read the reviews and say, "Oh, I really like this book. Let me get it." You know, word of mouth. I mean, just tell other people, "Hey, I read this book. Love this book. You can't have mine, but but you can buy your own." So reviews always work. You can always word of mouth, leave a review, whatever you have to do. But yeah, that support costs nothing at all. Talk about it on social media. Talk about what you love about it. Talk about what you hate about it. Talk about certain characters. Like you do your TV shows. Basically, we talk about our TV characters all the time. So basically, if you talk about book characters in your books, just like you talk about your TV shows, oh, it'll be awesome. Now, second 2 cents. In today's episode, we learned that in order to have a craft, you have to immerse yourself in it. Ronni Jay, she went to different seminars. She studied other comics. She talked to people. She didn't go in with the attitude of, okay, I've seen somebody do this, I can do this. No, she needed to learn the ins and outs of it first. And there's nothing wrong with coming up with your own style. But you have to learn the basics before you can do that style. So, in other words, anything worth doing is worth doing right. And what I mean by doing right You have to immerse yourself into that craft, no matter whether it's writing, whether it's comedy, whether it's drawing, whether it's building a house, whether it's fixing cars. You will never have a mechanic just go in cold, not knowing what he's doing, without actually learning or watching someone fix cars. You'll never see someone building a house willy nilly without learning from someone. So, in other words, immerse yourself into whatever you're into, and I promise you, you'll do a whole lot better. Well, that's it for me, AC Campbell. Next week, like I say, we're going to have Chris Griffin. We're going to be talking about things going on here in the city of St. Louis, and things that we all can do to help, and to quit talking about the problems all the time, to come up with some solutions. But in the meantime, peace, hair grease. Let your writing fuel your spirit, and God bless you. And thank you for supporting the Authors Club.